welcome back to the channel, all right? And before you watch this video that we about to show y'all, which is from our it's not our inner circle experience no more, which you guys probably heard us say multiple times, but is now the boss up experience. And how it became the boss up experience was, we partnered with Rap Snacks to make this event even bigger. And so they have the Boss Up Foundation, and we have the Inner Circle Experience. So y'all can see we did that. We took those two names and blended them up, and we got the Boss Up Experience. All right. And so from the video that you about to watch right now is actually from the kickoff event.
It's exclusive right here.
Exclusive. The kickoff event that people pay high dollars to be in these type of rooms.
Yes.
And we decided why we not gonna keep this information just in. We still gonna put this out on YouTube. We still gonna give it to y'all.
We got
so that way y'all can see like what type of environment, what type of information they got inside.
So
you
know what
group.
that mean, though, right?
What that mean?
That mean they gotta run this video all the way up.
Run it all the way up.
They gotta run this video all the way up.
Like,
so make sure you hit that like button.
Comment.
Watch this video all the way to the end.
Run us up, baby. But Nick, can you tell them about some of the speakers that they're gonna be actually watching inside of this video?
Got y'all. Hey, so first and foremost, we got my boy Marcus. Y'all probably seen him on the channel twice right now, right?
Yep.
2 times. The globalpreneur.
Yep.
All right, and he going to kill it as far as how you can really scale your brand online with data. All right, and now we got my other guy, Lawrence.
Yep.
He's going to give you some investing tips and gems. So there's going to be a curveball right here, because this is not going to just be about mindset. So this is not going to just be about clothing brand tips, but he's also going to give you some investing tips as a whole. All right, and then we got our New Orleans legend. All right, legend in the making.
Yep.
All right, Pastor Everett. All right, he have one of the fastest growing church communities in New Orleans right
Shout out to
now. All right, and he gonna kill it. All right, and then Xavier is gonna be our panel host, and he keep the energy flowing, and he keep the energy going. All right.
Shout out to Jigga.
So look, I need y'all to watch this video all the way to the end, and guess what? We have something in the description right now for all of my brand owners that's watching this video.
Yep.
All right, I want y'all to go join our Activate Your Vision access list.
Yep.
All right, this is going to be the behind the scenes. This is going to be me and Marlon private community where we are going to teach and help you scale your 6 to 7 figure brand this year. All right.
And main thing is, a lot of people joining for information. A lot of people joining for community, what you're going to see today.
That's my favorite part of it,
the community.
What I really
want you to do is watch this video, see, the type of information that's being, presented to the community. And if you feel like that's the type of room that you want to be in, go ahead on and check the description out and get in that access.
Look, I'm going to be real with y'all. Information is just half of it. But being a part of like-minded, groups and being a part of a like-minded community of people, hey, that's the other half that you need. So let's go ahead on and get into this video.
Because you don't rise to the level of your vision. You fall to the level of your system. Just because you can see and say, oh, I want big old warehouse, that ain't nothing. It's your system. If you're not systematically driven, if you don't have systems, pockets, holes where you can sit down creatively, intentionally, concentrate on what your thoughts are saying, right? And to develop those thoughts, you always live a cluttered mind, man. So in order to think forward, you got to have time to think.
So we're going to talk about forward thinking, and the first person we're going to bring up, he's from New Orleans, Louisiana. He established firm roots in the community where he accepted Christ as his Lord and Savior at a young age and became one of the youngest youth leaders appointed by the Southern Baptist Convention, where he planned, implemented, and successfully delivered seminars, workshops, and preaching engagements. Everybody put the energy in your hands and give it up for Pastor Everett. Yes, sir. What's going on, Pastor?
What's up, man?
How you doing, man? You good? Hey, look, you want to sit next to me? You want to sit next to me? Yeah. Thanks. Now, the next person we got coming up, Lawrence Eggleston, the Panther, CEO, Black Wall Street Originals. Raised in New York, where the hustle was evident, Lawrence Eggleston witnessed firsthand the daily grind of those living paycheck to paycheck. The bustling streets of restaurants, retail shops, including the pizza restaurant of Forever 21 where he once worked, and it became his classroom. It was there that he understood the difference between working for money and making money work for you. Everybody put the energy in your hands and give it up for Lawrence Eggleston. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh my God, the rolling drip on. He got the rolling drip on. He dripping. He fresh. Yeah.
Wonder where I got it from.
And last but certainly not least, he's a Houston native, Navy Special Operations veteran, and seasoned entrepreneur known for his 10 years of remarkable holiday sales success, particularly during Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Everybody put your energy in your hands and give it up for Mr. Marcus Bowers. Yeah! What's going on, man? What's going on?
What's up, brother?
I like the hat, bro. You came in with the hat. I like it. I'm in the spirit. All right, so look, y'all ready to get this panel started? If y'all ready, clap 1 time. Clap 2 times. 3 times. 0 time. Okay, yeah, we tuned in. All right, let's go. So look, we have 3 special individuals with countless hours of experience, so let's get right to it. How do you define forward-thinking leadership in today's business landscape? Here you go. We can go down the line. Yeah.
Go down the line. I defined it by really understanding what the entire culture needs, right? What's the need of the culture? Understanding by far data, all of those different type of things, but really understanding like who you are as a person. And so we're seeing like right now in our society and across the country, people jumping from entrepreneurship, from different businesses because they're not sure about who they are. Right? And so instead of them working on their business, they're constantly working in their business, which is a huge difference.
Yeah, really great points there. For me, I date back really to when I was 17, 24 now, and I think about forward-thinking type leadership. And I used to think about where I was going to be at 17, where I'm at now at 24. And I think it's putting yourself in the right rooms and putting yourself in the right positions, right? Who you surround yourself with is so important. So for me at 24, like most of my friends are like in their mid-30s or like early 40s. And it's not just from an age perspective, but it's about what I seek to learn, who I surround myself with. Because if I truly want to become the best leader that I can be, I need to be around the best leaders that I know. And that a lot of times isn't going to be the peers that you went to school with or the peers that you had in college. You have to separate yourself at some point and seek more, and that's what I feel like was important for my leadership growth, was being able to listen more than what I spoke, right? Because I think a lot of times that people look at leadership and thinking that you're just supposed to talk direct, but now you actually got to go through some schooling, and that could be spiritually, emotionally, or physically.
Facts.
Next question, then.
How do you define forward-thinking leadership in today's business landscape?
Doing whatever you're doing online, too. So whatever you're doing in the oxygen world, you should be able to do that online too. That's forward thinking. Everybody online with whatever you're doing, whatever your dreams are, is somebody doing it online too, talking to way more customers than you are, making way more money than you are, because they're doing it online too. So that's forward thinking leadership. Learning AI. Everybody's in world-class training right now. Nobody understands what's going on. Everybody had to learn crypto and NFTs and Bitcoin at the same time. So with AI being brand new, you should be learning it right now too with the rest of the world. We're all in class right now. So if you've been missing out on this AI wave, you been skipping school. You know what I'm saying? So forward thinking is learning what the billionaires are doing, or doing what the billionaires are doing. If you want to be a billionaire, you've got to do what the billionaires are doing. So I'm collecting a lot of data, like just having fun, talking to people that's not in front of me, selling them stuff. I sell a lot of house shoes online to people I've never met ever before in my life. You know what I'm saying? I think it's important to just do whatever you're doing or whatever you see other industry leaders doing, do it in your industry too. If you do it in your industry too, then you'll be the leader of that in your industry. An example is a lot of people know I own She's Happy Hair. You know, me and my team, we started 10 years ago, and I was just telling my man here that we were the first hair company to do Black Friday sales in the world, in the hair industry. The beauty supply stores, I had never seen Black Friday or back to school sales or prom and graduation sales, and that's forward thinking. We did it first, and not everybody doing it. Same thing with the financing, right? We started financing hair. the buy now, pay later programs. We started doing that first in the hair industry. Not everybody's doing it. And so I think that's forward thinking and leadership, doing it first and staying the course.
Facts, staying first, being innovative. I like that. Now, another thing that I would say on forward thinking leadership is you got to think forward. That's exactly what it says. You got to think forward, right? So when he said do what the billionaires are doing, are the billionaires up there writing emails, trying to figure out what kind of emails they got going on? No. What are they focused on? Building the culture, building the people. They're not building the business. They're building the people who are going to work this business, who have this culture, who got this culture vibe, who 50,000 employees are on one same mission, on one same accord. That's what they're building. That's what they're working on. So you got to focus on building the culture too. Build your culture within your company. If you got some people if you got people who you want to be on the same mindset as you, you got to be able to articulate that to them in a very, very, very engaging way, in a way where they want to feel like they need you. You know what I'm saying? So always focus on building that culture, because you can't do everything by yourself in the future. You think you're gonna be running a whole $1 billion industry by yourself? Not at all, right? Not at all. You're gonna need other people under you. All right. So definitely, I like what you guys are saying. Next question: what role or habits does innovation play in transforming an organization?
Well, I'm gonna put a point to your last question and then come forward. You know, one of the things I've seen, and to my man point, to do what other entrepreneurs, billionaires are doing, one of the things I see that people do in all industries, all career path, is that they buy their time, right? You can't think forward if you don't have time to think, right? You can't think forward reading receipts. You can't think forward, putting packages together. You have to buy your time, right? And so they strategically come up with a system, because you don't rise to the level of your vision. You fall to the level of your system.
I like that.
You see what I'm saying?
Hey, say that one more time. Say that one more time.
You don't rise to the level of your vision just because you can see and say, oh, I want big old warehouses. That ain't nothing. It's your system. If you're not systematically driven, if you don't have systems, pockets, holes where you can sit down creatively, intentionally, concentrate on what your thoughts are saying, right? And to develop those thoughts, you always live a cluttered mind, man. So in order to think forward, you got to have time to think.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So that's one thing. Come forward, innovation in our day. And let me just make this confession. I sit on the board for one of our universities where right now I'm trying to diversify $10 million in economic diversity amongst African Americans. And we're suffering in that area, in the area of innovation, right? How do we initiate things? And I think a lot of it is because we feel incompetent. And I think a lot of it is we don't touch innovation as much as we should because we think it's competence and not counsel. I think the last panel talked about mentors and things of that nature. Innovation comes from those thoughts, those conversations, having those tough conversations, right? I tell all of my team, I tell them all the time, do not come in this meeting and tell me everything is good. You know what I mean? Don't tell me everything is good. Anybody in the medical field know that leprosy is really not a disease. Leprosy is just the absence of pain. And the more and more a person will bite their thumb off who have leprosy because they can't feel the pain, right? And so there are a lot of organizations can't be innovative because they have leprosy, because nobody telling them what's going wrong in the industry. Give me my pain. Let me wrestle with that so I can then turn around and initiate certain things and be innovative in different spaces. You know what I mean? Don't tell me I'm doing good in that area if I'm suffering. You know what I mean?
Preach!
I feel like innovation in business, particularly in the industry that I'm in, when it comes to investing, trading, when it comes to looking at companies, the greatest companies on Wall Street are innovative, right? Like 5 years ago, it was 2018, and I remember I was, contemplating investing in Tesla, right? And I had a big decision to make. Was I gonna put $50,000 of my own money into Tesla, or was I not going to? And the decision that I made to invest that $50,000 in Tesla was because I seen the innovation, right? I trusted the leadership. And I always tell people, like, when it comes down to any business that I want to invest in, it starts at leadership, number one.
Yeah.
But then number two, I'm looking at what ways is it becoming innovative, right? What ways is it creating change, right? And what ways is it looking to be disruptive? Any disruptive product always creates some sort of commotion, creates some sort of change, and it also creates the ability for, as an investor, to profit from that. Like when I'm looking at investing, I want to be able to see what ways are you able to grow. You talked about data. Data is super important. So right now, I'm using Tesla as a great example because they have a stranglehold on the car industry because they have all the data. All of these other automakers are trying to catch up, right? The Fords, the GMs, they're trying to catch up. But Tesla has all the data. And they've been super innovative, creating self-driving. Have you seen the other companies been able to do it? No. So you have first mover advantage, but you also have innovation. And I think that any company has to be willing to have some shakeup and be willing to have change. And I think you also, even outside of the business landscape as a person, you have to be innovative. You have to be willing to change your environment. You have to be willing to change who you're around. You have to be willing to change what you listen to, what you consume, because that changes you for the better.
Innovation. I mean, you have to innovate to stay ahead. You gotta, if you're still doing the old things, or pursuing your dreams with the old tools, you're gonna get the old results. There's so many new tools out here that if you're still using a hammer, you tripping. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're still looking for somebody to create your website, you tripping. You know what I'm saying? You got tools to, a logo. You got tools that can create a business for you right now. And it's just knowing that ChatGPT exists. It's just knowing that a CRM is a thing. If you can use ChatGPT, you can create anything you can think of. On my mama. You know what I'm talking about? On my mama, right? If you know how to use ChatGPT, I'm not lying to y'all, man. I started studying ChatGPT way back when, way back in last January or something, and I know everything that he can do. And so whatever you think he can do, yeah, he can do that. But he can do so much more. You can't just use these tools and just use them for what you think they can do. There's other people that are using these tools other ways, and you got to learn how they're using them. There's somebody that made $1 billion using Google. And you got access to Google too. But they just did something different. So we got to start learning what that different is. And I just know if you know how to use ChatGPT, that's the start. That's going to introduce you to the rest of the AI tools, and then innovation, man, you can create anything. And then you learn how to use a CRM, you can sell anything to people that's not in front of you. So you can create anything with ChatGPT, and you can sell it to anybody if you learn how to use a CRM. So those two things right there. And then the other AI tools would be a cakewalk. So that's innovation.
I like that. I like that. How many of y'all use ChatGPT right now? Raise your hands if you use it. All right, facts. Real quick, prime example. I'm actually glad that you brought up ChatGPT because me and my business partner, LaDonte Lotz right there, Ayote, co-owner of Jig Aerobics, we use ChatGPT to write a grant proposal for $25,000. And guess who got awarded? Us and ChatGPT. You know what I'm saying? It's not, see, I like the fact that you say you got to give yourself time to think. Give yourself time to think, but also get your time back by just becoming an editor. Let ChatGPT write out and think about what you need to edit now. Because it's not like, oh, I'm gonna put my idea in and then I'm gonna take this and then boom. Nah, you still gotta put some thought into it. You still gotta put some of your thoughts into it, right? You still gotta be innovative in that knowledge that you gain. It's just about getting what you want to do out there faster. Speed is the game. So yeah. Let's go to the next question. Yeah. We're gonna stick with this mic right here. This one lit. All right. So we all know business is always evolving, right? Which may make it difficult at times. How can leaders create systems and processes that support continuous improvement and growth within your organization?
You gotta do your homework, man. You can't be lazy, period. Like anything. This is once again in any career. And I want to say this, I wish I could have said this during the innovation part is, I'm just looking, so I look at things like regionally, the world, all those type of things. So my job is to come in and work systems, like organizations, stuff like this. And so what I'm saying amongst young entrepreneurs today, you're not giving your ideas time to develop. You got to give it time. Like if every year you're going back to the vision board and you're going to put a whole nother vision over there and you just gave it 365 days, come on, man. You got to give it time. Like everything, like this true stuff, right? You got to give it time. So this generation, now I'm not talking generation, I'm just talking culture, this society. We think getting there fast is the goal. No, getting there prepared is the goal. Getting there fast and missing a lot of opportunities. So I'm looking at a lot of young entrepreneurs that got to the right room, but they didn't have the character to keep them in it. They didn't have the attitude to keep them in it. They didn't bring the right people with them in the room.
Facts.
You see what I'm saying? So getting there fast is one thing, that innovation, you know, ideas, initiation, but just give some of that stuff time, right? So building those system structures to your question and all those type of things, like you got to have checks and balances, boundaries. And this is what I discovered too. One writer said that we hire people for what they can do, but we fire them when we find out who they are. Ooh. So system structures. So a lot of us are paying for loyalty. We're not really paying people for their expertise, their innovation. They can bring us to another level. We just paying them because we can trust that they ain't gonna take out the cash register. You see what I'm saying? I'm talking systems now. I'm talking checks, balances, cracking down on systems, making sure that when you get into building systems, oh, it ain't personal. Man, I'm a pastor. I fire my own sister. She was mad with me for 6 months. I took her to go get some oysters from Drago's, and I was like, when I fired you, that was pastor. I'm still your brother, though. It ain't personal at all. And I care less how people feel, because at the end of the day, we got somewhere to go.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like, we got systems, and when people trusting you with millions, they trust you with influence, they trust you with confidence. Yeah. It ain't time to be talking about we cool. We can't be cool all day. You know what I mean? Like, and I ain't paying you to be cool with me. You know what I mean? I hope that links.
Yeah. No, thanks. Man, you talking that stuff, freak.
Yeah, he just went in. He just put up 50. But I would say, I thought about when you just listed that question, I thought about back to, one point that you said as far as like playing is the slow game. And when people go back to the vision board, like every single year, it's like, okay, like what's really going on? And I remember when I was just telling you about this. I remember 2018, I was in college, and I was full-time trader at the time. So I'm trading stocks, trading options. I'm starting to become a disruptor in my classroom, right? And so this is where I knew I had something good. People coming up to me in class like, Lawrence, appreciate the stock tip, appreciate you teaching me how to trade. So now people are coming up to me saying, yo, you helped me pay my tuition. And it started to become really a disruption that got me to the point where, I got sent to the dean's office. But instead of getting kicked out of school, the dean sent me to the financial aid office. Went to the financial aid office, ended up having my own office after that conversation. Now I'm teaching at the school while I'm still going to school, getting paid $10,000 a semester. So now I realize, okay, like what I'm doing is something that I can monetize. But how do I put a system around it? Because I can't just keep talking to everybody. I have to organize it, right? I can't just keep having 50 people come over to my dorm living room and then telling people, yo, enough is enough. Now there's a system behind it. Now I have a CRM, something you talked about. Now I have a website. Now I'm operating classes on Zoom, so not just doing things in person, but I'm thinking bigger. But I'm also not thinking in the rush fashion, right? When I first started off, a lot of people said, well, why aren't you charging X amount of dollars? And I never gave anybody an answer, right? But the answer to myself was, because these people that I teach right now, once they make 10, 15, 20, 30, 50, some 100,000, which they have, they're gonna be my biggest cheerleaders. They're gonna be my biggest supporters. They're gonna be the people that when I have events, they'll tell everyone, yo, you should be a part of this community. And so I thought about the long-term game because I'm a long-term investor. I'm not a person that's just looking for a quick flip. And I think that one thing you talked about is that short-term mindset, is that, we feel like we have to get everything in one single day. My mindset is, I want my money for the rest of my life. I don't want it to just go away tomorrow. I'm not just looking to just play this gamble game. I want to invest in not just my portfolio, but I want to invest in the people that's around me. You said something that was powerful, right? A lot of people that we have working for us just because we might like them or we may feel, may get a good feeling from them. But at the end of the day, you need the best people around you that's gonna tell you the honest truth. Like, tell me what I need to clean up. Tell me what I need to do better. One thing that I realized when I was younger, you don't wanna have yes men around you, right? You don't wanna have the people that's around you just for what you can provide them. As I started to mature, as I started to, you know, get more money, there was people around me telling me, yo, you should get a Tesla now. I said, nah, my money's better off in Tesla stock. And that was 2019. Y'all see where Tesla's at today. So I just tell people, it's important as far as who you keep around you, because who you keep around you directly influence your decisions. And in this day and age, the social media, the Instagram is dangerous. The Twitter is dangerous. The music you put in your ears is dangerous. So what I had to understand ultimately is who I keep around me is what I'll become. So when I think about innovation, when I think about systems, when I think about forward thinking, I think about, like, where do I want to go in the future? Where do I see the world in the future? Forward thinking, right? Shout out to WRLDINVSN. You gotta have that vision, but you gotta have a plan, and you gotta execute it. And you gotta be willing to make those tough decisions, right? And sometimes it's not gonna be the easy ones, right? You gotta be, as a leader, you gotta make the tough decisions. You gotta be willing to cut some people off. And I had to live with those things, right? I had to cut off my best friend. Why? Because there were certain points in business where we were trying to go to, and he was just so distracted. He's always worried about girls. I'm like, bro, like, you gotta understand, like, you can't always think about women. That's not what life's about. We got opportunities, we got deals in front of us, and you're gonna mess them up. So for anyone in here right now, I'm speaking to you, gotta, as a leader, you gotta be willing to make a tough decision.
That's a tough decision right there, man. Systems, innovation, systems, man. Everybody in here, if you have any like 2024 goals, one of your goals should be to automate something or everything. That should be your goal. Like, let me go and automate my life or something real quick. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of repeating myself. Let me go in and figure out a way to automate something in my life that I've been doing the past 2-3 years. Every year, somebody asks me, whatever that is. If it's hiring somebody, the exact same way you want to automate that. If it's the way you talk to customers in person in the oxygen world, you want to automate that. Something, automate something. And then life will get a little easier for you. But systems, man, software systems are important, but the AI tools are more important there. I don't know if that's a word. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know if that's a word. Because AI wasn't here a year ago. So a year ago, I was talking about software stacks. I was telling everybody, hey man, I got this software stack, and all you need is these tools, and you can start making money online if you got a product or a service, and you prompt your CRM to do this and do that, and watch the money, cha-ching. But then now with these AI tools, it's like, man, like you can, it's different now. You know what I'm saying? But again, I just think that you should automate everything or something. And then when it comes to goals, you talked about vision boards. I refocus my goals every year. You know what I'm saying? I got a little refocus exercise that I do. I would love to do it with everybody in here. You know what I'm saying? Just go to my DM. It ain't even an automated system. Just DM me the word focus, and I'm gonna get back to you. And we gonna all hop on the Zoom, and y'all can do the refocus exercise with me. What I do is I write down my top 10 goals, and then I rank those goals. 1 being the least important, 10 being the most important. I do the same thing with interesting. 1 being the least interesting, 10 being the most interesting. And then I do energy. Out of those 2 goals, those 10 goals that I wrote down, what's gonna take the most energy or the least energy to accomplish? And then the last column is income. So out of all those 10 goals that I write down, which of those goals are going to generate the most amount of income at the end of that accomplishment once I achieve it, right? And so I don't set like selfish goals where it's like, I'm trying to do this for me. I set life-changing goals, like lives-changing goals, not like a life-changing goal. Like I'm done setting life-changing goals. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all in here are setting life-changing goals. That's not what I'm doing. I'm setting lives-changing goals. So the goals I'm setting is gonna make all of us some money. You know what I'm saying? Not just me. And so kind of keep that in mind when you're setting your goals going into 2024. You can be intent and help everybody or just, help yourself. But I think helping multitudes of people, one to many, is better than one to one. So
Facts.
Systems, automation.
Facts. I like that.
You ain't lying when it says automation gonna save your life. Automation gonna make everything easier. If it's on automation, what is it doing? It's doing it by itself. It's running by itself. You ain't got to do no thought into it. You ain't even got to do nothing. It's just running, and it's making you some money, right? So if you haven't implemented any type of automation, I would suggest you start that ASAP, all right? So let's go on to the next question I have. This one right here is going to be great. Can you share an example of how you successfully transform your organization to adapt to changing market dynamics?
Oh, that's easy.
Oh, well, let me let you start first.
Appreciate you. So, COVID. Y'all know we made it through COVID, man. You know, I'm talking about a little black history, man. Everybody was going out of business in 2020. They ain't know what to do, running around with your head cut off, asking the government to send you the stimulus checks. But we actually had a team and a plan. We set up our She's Happy Hair University. We got smarter. We was reading together, taking quizzes and learning and educating. And then I went around to Best Buy and GovGate, and I saw that they was doing this thing called Curbside. And so I came back to my team, was like, hey, we got to start doing Curbside. And so we started doing Curbside. And now we got a buy online, pick up in store service, which is now a luxury, right? Because you can order online and pick it up in store versus ordering online and waiting on it to come. So it's a luxury service to some people. The Curbside was life-changing to a lot of people, but it was life-changing to us because we went from $11 million in sales to $16 million in sales in the midst of COVID because we had all the data that we collected throughout the years to tell the people to come shop with us online when they couldn't come in store. That's why it's so important to collect the data so you can tell the money what to do. You know what I'm saying? If the store is shut down, you got to tell the money where to go. You got to tell the people where to go. You got to tell the people how to come support your brand or your industry. And I think when COVID happened, we all had to change. We all had to lead our team in different directions, and we had to change the way that we was doing business. So now that we changed then, we're still doing those things now. We started having remote meetings, right? I used to have to fly around to different stores in different cities and do quarterly meetings. Now we all on Zoom. I love it. I love this. I like it like this. You know what I'm saying? It's so much better, right? You get to spend time with your family because you learned how to lead remotely. But if you go back to before COVID, then you're going to be doing things the old way, getting the old results. So don't go backwards, man. Y'all make sure y'all stay hybrid so you can spend more time with your family.
Well, you said something valuable there. Family time for me is super important. So when the pandemic came, that was one of the first things. Before the pandemic, I never taught a Zoom class. After the pandemic, I checked how much I've been on Zoom. I've been on Zoom over the past 3.5 years for over 5,000 hours, between one-on-one client calls, group coaching calls. And one thing I would say that, separated me, especially in the trading space, right? A lot of people have maybe heard of, how many people have heard of IML, right? Our iMarkets Live, where it's like a lot of Forex traders and things like that, where it's like pyramid schemes and stuff like that. For me, I was a difference maker, and here's how I was able to gravitate more people to coming into my program who wanted to learn from me. Biggest thing is I go on Zoom, we'll trade live. Like my goal is like, I want all my people making money. So what do? I open up a Zoom, and it's no charge, right? Some people's like, Lawrence, why are you not charging people to come in and get your intellect and make money? I said, trust me, they're gonna pay by the end of the session. So what I did was I created an event. I called it Trade Mania. So, I did it live on Zoom, and then I ended up doing it in person at one point. But I did things that were different. I did things that most people were afraid. Like, most people would probably be afraid to have 200, 300, 400, 500 people on a Zoom, and you're instructing them on what trade you took and why you took it. You gotta have extreme confidence. That's basically like, you pulling from where Steph Curry pulling from. You pulling from where Damian Lillard pulling from. And I'm knocking the shots down. People's making 10,000 on a call. Some people's making 20,000 on a call. And some people's making 500 to 1,000. But it's real to them. So I created a real experience for people that was tapped into me. And they said, you know what? With Lawrence, I understand that he's gonna show me everything too. Because most people just wanna show you the wins. Whereas now, I'm showing you the losses. I'm showing you how to lose. See, the problem is, like in my industry, people preach all day, man, you're gonna make all this money, you're gonna do this, and you're never gonna lose. The fact is that you are gonna lose on trades, but it's about being risk mitigation. So what I show people is how to mitigate their risk. I show people how you can take 6 trades and lose on 3 of them, and win on 3 of them and still be profitable. But what I'm teaching people is self-discipline. To be a trader, to be an investor, you gotta have some level of discipline in your life already. Whether that's spiritually, emotionally, you gotta have that discipline.
and you got to be grounded. So what me inviting people into my Zooms and me inviting people into my community and not hitting them over the head, it allowed people to feel comfortable to be able to work with me. People didn't feel like, yo, I just paid you a bunch of money and I ain't really learned nothing. Nah, people feel comfortable to come into the room and now they've made money and they feel gratitude. So for me, what I do is like more service work. I don't do it just for the money because I know what this can do for our community and what this can change. When you talk about automation, there's no skill set that, in my opinion, you can be online, but when you learn how to trade, you can make money without no one talking to you. No one being in your ear, no one telling you you gotta clock out to take a smoke break or clock out to eat your lunch. Like, nah, you go out there and you get your food. And I always tell people, like, we talk about reparations, our reparations is in the market. Because the first people that was ever traded on Wall Street were black people. Let's not get it twisted. I'll leave that at that.
Well, my only example in my industry is, to my brother's point, is pandemic we were already doing what the church needed to be doing during the pandemic, right? Yeah. 10 years ago, I was doing live streaming and all those type of things long before the pandemic came and shifted our dynamics to start live streaming. So by the time the pandemic hit, the numbers just went bananas.
Because it was already set
because
up.
it was available, it was already set up. So we was already in motion. It was forward thinking, innovation, saying we should be reaching more than just the people in our thing. I never, in my mind, and then it's a mindset too, I never wanted to pastor a church. I always wanted to pastor the city.
Yeah.
So it's not, to think about these people in these four walls is minute, right? Because when they leave outside those four walls, they still have to deal with the quality of life.
Facts.
So pastoring for me is you preach, that's 2% of pastoring. Yeah. 98% is what you do Monday through Saturday. You feel what I'm saying? So for me, the innovation, the disrupting systems. So just past Tuesday, I had the mayor, the chief of police, 2 councilmen, Dickie Brennan, these people, all of them at a table that I called. And it's because they know that I disrupt the system for the quality of life for all people, right? And not just preaching to people, but actually constructing a conducive environment where people actually can thrive. So we start talking about entrepreneurship, we can push certain people in different rooms because of the influence and the disruption. So we was already in motion long before the pandemic.
Let's go to the last question before we close this out, right? How do you balance short-term results and long-term vision when leading your organization?
Once again, in my industry, it's impact, right? What impact I'm directly making in our society. All issues, all problems for me is important and is valuable. I balance them by what's urgent and what's important at that time, right? So how I deal with it is I celebrate my short-term successes, but I'm always looking toward the future. So I'm in March right now, planning something for March, right, in 2024. So I'm ahead of the curve, but I'm always celebrating those different type of things. Let me go back to something before I pass the mic, because that was it on my industry. To you all point about being innovative, man. Let me tell you how one Tuesday. So in the morning we do this prayer line for 30 minutes. We have like thousands of people on it. And one Tuesday, this was really shocked me, right? This kind of messed me up a little bit. 85 people got saved on a Tuesday. None of them came into church. None of them walked down the aisle. None of them had to get dressed. Yeah. None of them had to get in the car. None of them had to put no makeup on. Nothing. But it shows you the dynamics of the different systems, right? Mm-hmm. So on a Tuesday, I'm like in 30 minutes, I like, that's crazy, right? But it shows you that when you're being innovative and shifting different paradigms, like you're in a whole different world. You know what I mean? You're not waiting till Sunday to be like, oh, y'all come up and get saved or you're going to hell. You know what I mean? Like these people got saved because they wanted to. You know what I mean? And that's the freedom. On a Tuesday morning, online, logged in. Yeah. So, you're just looking at those dynamics. So it doesn't, and let's talk about that victory, that's something to be proud of, that there are still people out here who want that spiritual discipline and want that spiritual walk of life.
Yeah. Thanks.
Powerful. For me, I think it's balancing my clients' short-term goals with their long-term goals. I think as a trader, as an investor in my industry, like, it's very easy to get distracted by that short term, right? Because most times if someone's making $1,000 in a day, they may have not ever done that before. And if that's happened, now they're looking at money differently and they're looking at the market differently. And they're like, they get the thrill of, I want to do it again. I want to do it every day, 365. And most people have the idea that being a trader, you sit at the desk all day with your glasses and you're on a MacBook Pro, you have all these screens and you're just looking at tickers 24/7. Like, that's not what trading's about. Trading's about balance. Trading's about being able, one of the most valuable things that I learned very early on, the most valuable thing in this earth is not money, it's time. Because once time's gone, you never get it back. You can always get money back. So the balancing of the short-term and the long-term goals is knowing, okay, you can make your short-term capital and your short-term gains in this market, but you always want to put money away for later. You always want to invest in the future, right? So anytime that I make a trade or my clients make a trade and they collect winning, I always tell people that you want to put money into your portfolio. You want to invest more into, for me, it's like investing more into Tesla. It's investing more into Shopify. It's because I see these businesses and where they're growing, and I want to have more. So it's balancing that short-term and those long-term goals. And for me, like, I'm willing to defer. I don't feel the rush. I don't, you know, like you said something that was so powerful, like just that 1 year, like, give me the Supermax, respectfully. You know, I need that Jaylen Brown deal. I need that 5-year 309. That's what I want. I don't want these better minimums. I don't want just a 1 year 1.5 sit me at the end of the bench like Udonis Haslem. I need that 5-year 309. And then I need the 5-year 400. Then I need the 5-year 500. Then I need the 10-year 700 that my boy in baseball just got the other day. That's what I want. Those are the type deals that I'm looking for. And that's my mindset.
Facts. Ready to run the question back? I got you, man.
You know what I'm saying? Drop
Say it.
the gems so we can pick them up.
Say, how do you balance short-term results and long-term vision when leading your organization?
Leading the organization. Short-term results. So we created the forecast in our industry. So when it comes to like short-term goals or long-term goals, we already kind of know what to expect, when to expect it throughout the different times of year. When it comes to goals, we motivate the team to, we incentivize the team to do more in the store for their short-term goals. So an example is, a lot of people don't know, it's not just the hair that we sell in our stores that make us the #1 virgin hair supplier in the U.S. It's the customer service too. So people come in our stores, they get greeted as soon as they come in the store by everybody. Like, no one person is one person's customer, right? It's everybody's customer. When you actually come into the store, we do what we call the happy experience. And so throughout that experience, just, you know, conversation being had, and we're wrapping the hair, we're educating them on the hair, we're collecting data at the register, we're asking for 5-star reviews because we're providing 5-star service. So if you go look on any She's Happy Hair Google review right now, it was all type of 5-star reviews that came in today. I don't care which store you go look at, you know what I'm saying? Because we're providing 5-star service and we're asking for 5-star reviews every day. Yeah. And so it's coming in real time. And so when we collect X amount of reviews with our team name in it, they are incentivized to make more money, right? We pay them more money. We give them bonuses and things like that. If we finance there, so if you offer finance to the customers when they come in, after a certain amount of finance options that go through, the team has an opportunity to hit another bonus. You know what I'm saying? Because if somebody comes to the store with $500 and you let them know, like, hey, we got the buy now, pay later option, and they get approved for $1,000. Now, instead of just spending that $5, you know, they have the ability to spend more. But they also have the ability to take that $5 and go do something else with it and just put down $40, you know. So some people look at those finance options as, you know, bad and, you know, community and blah, 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 but I don't. I think you can, and you should take advantage of these opportunities of like financing, because some countries don't have those opportunities. Some countries and continents, they don't have loan options and finance options and all that other, you know what I'm saying? It's a different world. So, but again, I think that's how you incentivize short term. Yeah. So we do that monthly. And that's how you keep a team. You know, you got to pay them what they ask for, but then pay them even more for exceeding the goal. So when it comes to long term, one way that we was able to expand across the U.S., and I'll just share this gem, I was in the military. So being in the military, when we started She's Happy Hair, we were able to call people we served with that was also in other cities and states. And they were able to follow the blueprint that we created here in Houston in whatever city and state that they was in. And so we, you know, created a team, a monster team, and started opening stores in Oklahoma and Alabama. And so now the long-term goal is to be the #1 virgin hair supplier in the U.S., not just in store, but online too. So a lot of the other hair companies, they have a huge digital footprint, but no real physical stores. And so that's the advantage that we had to grow our brand across the world, online and in the oxygen world. So whatever you do, do it online too. So short-term, long-term.
Facts. Facts. Short-term results, long-term vision, right? I would say you have to make sure that your short-term results are in line with your long-term vision. Are you getting stuff done, or are you getting the right stuff done? Just because you get results, are they the right results? Are they the right results leading to that long-term vision that you set out a couple weeks ago? So make sure that each win, each victory is a step in towards that long-term vision that you got, right? So yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for the information. Remember, give yourself time to think, automate some things, go for those bigger long-term deals. You gotta keep thinking forward. You guys are here, you guys have the responsibility to think forward, not only for yourself, but in the future, you're gonna have to bring others with you. You gotta make others wanna stay with you. You know what I'm saying? So never stop thinking forward, never stop thinking about the future. Keep y'all's cheese up. That's the last of the panel. And then, yeah, let's network a little bit.